Drop a like on the video in the next 5 seconds if you're looking forward to Chapter 3 in Fortnite. I know, wow. A video on Chapter 3 of Fortnite. I know, but as Lachlan says right here, Chapter 3 is a lot closer to us than you probably think. That's right, we're in Season 7 of Chapter 2 already, which just seems crazy, and Chapter 3 will be here before you know it. That's right, we're going to be talking everything Chapter 3 in today's video, and even talk about a potential release date towards the end of today's video as well. With all the evidence we got in today's video, Season 7 could be the last season of Chapter 2. Watch this. Before we start, drop a like on today's video if you haven't already, and if you scroll down below real quick, you can see we're getting real close here to 1 million subscribers, so if you could subscribe and help me get there, that would be awesome. Yeah, we're getting real close now, and also, if you're not already, make sure you're using a support creator code, okay? You can use anyone's. I appreciate each and every one of you using code macmacsyt in the item shop. It only takes like 2.3 seconds to put in, okay? Right, so that tweet from Lachlan, kind of suspicious, right? This is a guy that works very, very close with Epic Games. I mean, he's literally got his own skin in Fortnite. This tweet got me thinking, something is going on here. And even the CCO of Fortnite, Donald Mustard, you check out his Instagram, he's literally teasing that this season is the last reality. Yeah, some suspicious stuff is going on. Let's just put it like that. Now, what do we know so far? Fortnite, they work like 4 seasons ahead, which means they're probably working on Chapter 3 right now. And they probably have been for quite a while. But what will Chapter 3 look like, and when will it release? We're going to be talking about it. Let's run into it. We know some inside information, okay? Watch this. So, where are we going to start? A brand new map. Let's start there. So with Chapter 2, we saw a brand new map, which was kind of expected after the black hole event in Fortnite. Like, that was just the end of that map. But could we see the return of the Chapter 1 map in Fortnite for Chapter 3? Yeah, it's highly unlikely. That map was put together by Epic Games in literally like a week, as like the Battle Royale genre at the time was blowing up. They thought they'd hop on board. The whole purpose of the Chapter 2 map was so they could introduce all the new mechanics, so like swimming and expanding the storyline and things that they wanted to do and push the boundaries of what they could achieve, which they couldn't do on the old Chapter 1 map. That is why we got Chapter 2. So it's a big no to the old map returning in Fortnite. You can forget about that. But the idea of a new map for Chapter 3, that is very possible. Well, actually more than possible. Would things like old points of interest return on the map? Yeah, like they did with Chapter 2. We got Salty Springs from Chapter 1. We had the return of Tilted Towers at some point. Because each map is just a reorganized map of each other in the loop. This bit you're about to hear is kind of mind-blowing, okay? So with the whole Chapter 3, a new map idea, that will bring new mechanics to the game. So with Chapter 2, we saw swimming and fishing. Chapter 3, this is where it gets interesting. They're actually testing a brand new mechanic in Fortnite right now, potentially for Chapter 3. And that is with the whole UFO abducting players and taking you elsewhere onto a different map. It's kind of very similar to a system that is already being used in another game, and that is the Gulag from Warzone. So the problem with Fortnite at the moment is that it suffers with being dry towards the end of a game. There's not many people left after like the first circle. Let's just put it like that. So this is all just theory right now, but they are testing the Gulag mechanic with the abduction right now and boarding you onto the mothership where at the moment you collect orbs, and depending on how many of them you collect determines the rarity of weapons you'll be able to get from the vault. And then you leave the mothership and you spawn back on the island. What is that very similar to? The Gulag from Warzone. The whole abduction of a player and then like a little mini game outside the actual Fortnite map is kind of like the first stepping stone in the right direction to what I believe is going to be a new rebooting system, kind of like the Gulag from Warzone. That is what they're working on right now, and what you've seen in game, that is kind of like their little tester to see if it actually works. This could be a mechanic that comes to Chapter 3. Now, before we talk about the release date, because I'm sure everybody wants to know about that, let's talk about the storyline. So, You would think the main character in Fortnite with the storyline is Jonesy. Yeah, it's not. It's actually the Fortnite map itself. That tells you the story, the changes, the events that happen on the map. That is the storyline. Now, throughout the storyline so far in Chapter 2, it's been a bit all over the place with like the collaborations with Marvel. You've had the Midas storyline in Season 2. The map has still yet to experience like a huge change. Unlike the first chapter's map where we saw a snow biome, we saw the volcano and a jungle biome added, and other like game-changing events. That's still yet really to happen on the Fortnite map. The only location that's really changed in Chapter 2 is the center of the map. That middle part of the map that's had the agency, it's had the spire, it's had an absolute ton of changes, but the rest of the map hasn't really changed whatsoever. So for Chapter 3, seeing as the map is the storyline, the characters would stay the same, so you'll still have Jonesy and whatever carrying on their storyline, but the real storyline is if we get a new map and the changes that we'll experience throughout that map, which for Chapter 3 is definitely going to happen. Alright, let's talk about the release date of Chapter 3 in Fortnite. This bit is huge, okay? Listen to this. You don't want to miss this. So the storyline for Fortnite is kind of in the right place right now to be able to just end this map and for something to happen to the 0 point. Because as we know, the aliens have got hold of it. They're doing stuff to the 0 point. They've nicked it. It's kind of in the most unstable state the 0 point's ever been because it's not in the hands of the IO. And with the aliens messing around with it, it could recompile a whole new map. Like I said earlier, Chapter 2 is just a reorganized Chapter 1 map. Like Donald Mustard even confirmed this from his podcast. Now, that tweet from Lachlan stating that Chapter 3 is closer than we think is a huge hint, I think. He obviously has close relationships with Epic Games and has a history of being invited to like Epic Games events. Like he literally leaked creative mode early accidentally, and this is why I think potentially Chapter 3 could happen next season. Listen to this. So during Chapter 2 we had a ton of delays, especially towards the beginning. Like Season 1 was so long, Season 2 was like a decade long, and that was obviously all down to, I don't know if Epic Games have planned it, but obviously with the whole pandemic going on in the world, hopefully you should know about that, I'm hoping. Obviously stuff had to get delayed, pushed back because they weren't working in office. But if every season carried on for like roughly the 90 days that each season was used to, we would be in Season 10 right now. We wouldn't be in Season 7. We'd be in Season 10. Obviously take this with a pinch of salt, but I think they've scrapped the whole idea of doing 10 seasons for this chapter. There was no written rule that there's got to be 10 seasons to a chapter, right? Now, the reason I think this, just hear me out, listen to this. So, Chapter 1, Season 1, like proper OG Fortnite, started in October of 2017. Then Chapter 2, Season 1, started in October 2019, exactly 2 years after Fortnite Chapter 1, Season 1 started. Now, it's coming up to October 2021, and that would have been a whole 2 years since Chapter 2 has been out. So this season, Season 7, the listed date for the ending of the season is September the 9th, which is a Sunday. And the only other season that this has ever happened to, like a season ending on a Sunday, because normally it's on a Tuesday or Wednesday midweek. The only other time this has ever happened was in Season 10, which obviously the end event of Fortnite happened, and that brought Chapter 2. So if they extend this current season, which more than likely they will, by 3 weeks, that was 4, that's 3, it will end on exactly the starting date that Chapter 2 started 2 years ago. That's all I'm saying. So Chapter 1, Season 1 started October 2017. Chapter 2, Season 1 started October 2019, which is 2 years later. 2 years later would be October 2021. That is when I think Chapter 3 is going to be starting, and that's why I think it's going to be happening at the end of Season 7. Like I said, this is all just theory, but that could be the release date for Chapter 3. Okay, to make it seem a bit easier, Chapter 1 was 715 days long to the end. And if Chapter 2 was to end in Season 7 with the extended time as well, that would make it 716 days long. So what I'm saying is, there doesn't have to be 10 seasons to one chapter. And realistically, with all the delays we've had so far, we should be in Season 10 right now. Again, this is all just speculation, but it's a high possibility. Chapter 3, the release date could be in October 2021, which is only a few months away. So let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. You could be calling me crazy. I don't care. But that is just all theory right now. Chapter 3 could be here sooner than you know.